In this video, I'm going to be taking a bunch of popular LEGO sets and shrinking them down into micro-scale versions. Let's go! Okay, so I actually came up with this idea when I was looking at my dream LEGO set, the LEGO Lion Knight's Castle, and noticed this little side room that had a mini build in it. It's supposed to be a mini recreation of the old yellow castle LEGO made back in 1978, so let's start by recreating this iconic mini build. This build uses less than 20 pieces and looks pretty good for its size. What you might not know is that this isn't actually the only mini LEGO set that has appeared in their recent sets. I also found this miniature LEGO Ideas Treehouse in the A-frame cabin set, so let's build this too. These are pretty cool, so let's make some of our own mini builds of popular sets. One of the most iconic LEGO sets is the Creator Expert Assembly Square. This majestic set came out in 2017 and is one of the most recognizable modular sets to this day. So now let's shrink it down into a mini model. Here's what I came up with. This build uses a ton of different building techniques to fit in as many details as possible into the building, including sideways building techniques, snot pieces, and clip pieces. I even used some illegal building techniques like a minifig hand to look like the stem of this flower. Overall, I'd say this looks pretty close to the original, just don't look at the back. Next up on my list is something that every cartoon villain secretly wanted. A choo-choo train. For this one, I'm going to create this cargo train because it was another one of those sets I always hoped to have someday as a kid. And now I can finally have it. I made use of different widths of pieces to try and mimic the narrower and wider parts of the train. I also used these minifig snot pieces to make the thin yellow line on the back of the train. This design can also be customized in a ton of ways to make a ton of different train engines. Now let's see how good this train is by recreating the video where Mr. Beast ran a train through some walls. Well, it looks like it made it through all the walls and... oh no. Quick! Build the fire station and put out the fire! Hey! Whew. Now that that's out, let's take a look at this micro fire station. Okay, so this fire station is based off of set 60004, and I feel like it looks really accurate. For comparison, here's the completed full-size build. I'd say that the mini one captures the look pretty well, and can even fit inside the original one quite easily. I tried to add as much detail as I could, like the sunken garage doors and these little yellow railings. I also tried to recreate the vehicles that come with the set, though I feel like the fire truck doesn't look as accurate as the others. Bruh. Growing up, one of my favorite LEGO genres was Star Wars, so let's recreate some iconic sets from the series. One of the most iconic Star Wars sets has to be the UCS Millennium Falcon. Now this has been made in a ton of different sizes, even including some mini scale builds. However, none of them are quite as small as this. I used one of these snot pieces to connect all the little parts together. I also used an illegal building technique with this minifig hand as the cockpit of the ship. I also made the Lando version of the Millennium Falcon from the Solo movie. Another iconic set is the AT-AT. This one has been made a number of different times, but I wanted to push myself to make it even smaller. And here's the build I came up with. I once again used an illegal building technique in order to get as accurate of detail as I could with these clip pieces and droid arms. Another Star Wars set I recreated in mini form is the X-Wing, which is one of the most recognizable Star Wars ships. LEGO actually made the world's largest X-Wing set, so let's try and make the smallest. Here it is next to a full-size set. This is really small, but it still captures the look of the X-Wing. To go along with the X-Wing, I also recreated the Y-Wing in mini form. I used this General Grievous piece for the front of the ship because it matches the angle really nicely. I also used these parts of lever pieces for the domes on the wings. And of course, you can't forget the turrets on the top. I actually made both the X-Wing and Y-Wing in miniature form before when I was a kid, but they just don't look quite as accurate as these new versions I made. On top of this, I went ahead and made this mini Razor Crest complete with Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian himself. And the final Star Wars ship I made was the Naboo Starfighter. This one uses some old LEGO maxi figure hand pieces for the wings, and I think it overall looks pretty cool. One cool thing you can do with these mini ships is you can hang them above a larger ship or a mock and it'll look like they're just far away. With all those illegal building techniques I used, I'm surely wanted in many countries, so let's make a micro-scale police station. This one is also modeled after a set I had as a kid. Here it is compared to the full-size set. I really like how it turned out, and I feel like I captured most of the important details, like the design of the building and the jail cells. Even this little arm is able to move like the original. However, once again, the vehicles don't look super great at a small scale, though it is cool that this hook can actually grab onto the jail cells like the one from the full-size set. One set that I always thought was really cool is the LEGO Ideas ship in a bottle. So why don't we try to recreate it in miniature form? I made this simple base to try to capture some of the details of the full-size set, and though it isn't perfect, I feel like it gets the idea across. For the bottle, I used this clear dome piece along with this inverted piece on the bottom. This ship is made with only 2 pieces, and there's even enough room for a couple smooth studs on the inside to look like water. If you want to recreate this at home, be prepared, because fitting the ship and the water pieces in the bottle is extremely difficult. Before we get on to the next build, I want to quickly tell you about our sponsors, the like and subscribe buttons. A very small amount of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you like this content, consider subscribing and giving it a like, because even though it's really simple, it helps out a ton, and you can always unsubscribe whenever you want. With that out of the way, let's get on to the build. For the next build, let's do something that's normally really big. Like, how about the LEGO Titanic set? This set is gigantic with over 9,000 pieces and an equally large price tag. So let's cut some costs and make a mini version. Here's what I came up with. I used a few cool building techniques for this, like a surfboard, and these plates connected into Technic pieces that kinda look like little windows. Now let's see if it'll float. No. Hey, just like the real one. Another recognizable set we can make mini is a LEGO plane. I specifically chose this set because I had pieces that fit the color scheme better than some of the other sets. But you can basically use the same design for any plane if you just swap out the colors. Here's the mini scale plane that I came up with. I based this off of a mock I built a few years ago, but changed the dimensions a bit to better represent the set. I also made this little staircase to go along with it using this sloped grate piece and this other connector to look like the wheels of the staircase. Now let's see if it's able to fly. I made this simple launcher using a Technic projectile launcher, so to get it to work, I just have to push down on this piece and it should hopefully go flying. Well, it sort of works, I guess. For the final build, I decided to go for a build from one of my favorite LEGO games, Batman. I went ahead and made this miniature version of his Batwing. I used this 1x1 clip piece on the front, as well as these different claw-like pieces on the back to look like the details of the real Batwing. I also used these curved pieces to try and recreate the iconic wings of the ship that make it actually look like a bat. I'd say this turned out pretty good considering its size. Well, it looks like we're gonna have to end it here because Batman has another call. I had a lot of fun building these, so let me know what you'd like to see me do next. Have fun and stay creative.